So ladies and gentlemen, today I got a different video and it's gonna be a fun one. So I was just checking online looking for videos I could review and I saw one of Destiny. There seems to be like an interesting channel. What was it called again? Prime Cayes. I'm not sure what it is, but it seems to be like an online podcast on Twitch. A bunch of people join and they just start discussing about interesting topic. You know me, man. I like dialogue. So they were talking about interracial dating. And it seems that certain people really only want, for example, I would only date a black woman because I can relate with the black woman, right? We relate on the same pain. And when Destiny came in, Destiny said, it seems kind of sad because you look for somebody so you can relate to your pain. Not through the other aspect, love, all the stuff. You're really kind of focused on that. But there is a moment that I noticed there was actually like a brownish girl there, but she was a little Asian and a little Jewish, and they were having a very interesting discussion that it's like, why am I supposed to date black people? Especially if we share the pain. For example, in my case, as a kid, I did not have a lot in common with most black people, the culture in itself. To make it even worse, my background and the pain I experienced as a child, I could not compare to anybody. So I felt very disconnected from everybody and they made it clear that, hey man, you're freaking disconnected. Emotionally, I was bullied a lot. I was the scapegoat. You don't want to be like him. He doesn't stand up for himself, and trust me, none of the black girls wanted me. 6 foot, but 60 kilograms. So I was a stick. I was like a brownish, light brownish Snoop Dogg. Let's just say that. So what happened now, this is the problem. The only person that gave me the confidence to be the person that I am is my current girlfriend that became my wife. She met me, I did whatever I had to do, and it totally changed me. And it felt good. And you know what's even worse? When I made my baby was super white. When I made the next one, he was kind of brownish, but also very white. And I thought, hey, that's kind of weird. Why are my babies so white? I did some research, did my stuff there, and you know what I found out? I found that in my blood, I had some weird Irish blood. That was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. And I found out before all the slaves from Africa went to the Caribbean, for the reason they went sent there, you know? You know what happened? There were actually Irish people there, Irish slaves before us. And with the Irish slave there, I was like, why were they there? Well, it seems the white woman, they used them with the black African men to reproduce, to create more babies because, hey, we needed more people. And it seems the mix is very useful. It seems some of them were stronger because they get the good advantage of both in the mix. And that's the reason, because I'm a mix, but it seems that the Irish blood is kind of strong too. That's why my babies are very white. But what I thought was weird is when people were saying, no, your son ain't black. Then I was like, wait a second, what do you mean by that? You're telling me that my culture is not gonna affect him? The way I speak my native language is not gonna affect him? Because this lady also said, I don't date by race. Because some of them were saying it's racist. She says, I date by class. So everybody was like, what do you mean by that? I thought maybe, ooh, she's talking about OnlyFans. And no, it wasn't that. You know what it was? She says, look, man, I do STEM. That's my school stuff. So in STEM, there's not a lot of black people. So that's why most of the time, depending on my surrounding, what options I have, I date people that are usually white or maybe something else, but not black, because most black people aren't in STEM at college or whatever. Is it her fault? No, that's her option. She's trying to study. She's not trying to distract herself. She's gonna choose the option. Just like me. I went to a party. Black party. Nobody came to talk to me. There comes this beautiful Spanish woman talk to me, and hey, I'm still with her 15 years later. Is that my fault? So this girl is just giving her opinion, her experience, and somebody said, you know what, I'm disappointed in you because you don't really kind of focus on dating your own race, but you have all this reason to date outside, which is kind of stupid for me. But let's see what's going to happen.
I'm disappointed in you because You said you're a black woman. You're biracial
Well,
or whatever.
well, you can see me, right? Like, you know, I'm pretty sure I'm black.
You gonna let him respond?
Yeah. I, s-
You very much fanatic.
I
That's
see. I
great and
see
very
you. I
helpful.
see
Okay,
you,
okay,
cat.
okay.
Defend your man. Defend your man.
Legend, please respond.
Watch it, Azzy. I see you, cat. I see that you're a black woman. What I'm saying is that the black family is under attack, and I think that it's important for black people to stick with each other to
That's
the
racist.
context.
No, it's not.
It's not racist, it's
Racist.
misogynist. That's what it is.
If you're disseminating people along racial
saying-
lines, it's
it's saying
racist.
that you have
It's
to.
racist. I don't give a fuck what you say.
I'm sorry. I want
It's,
to,
it's saying that
finish. I want to finish hearing his logic behind why I need to go ahead and breed specifically with other people that look like me. So
There
please
you go.
continue. I'm excited.
Thank you.
Continue.
So yes, the black family is under attack. We live in a system of white supremacy, and I think that it's important that we stick with each other politically, economically, in order to preserve, um,
the black race.
yes, the black race. Sure.
Oh my god.
Okay.
And
Wait,
it's- and it's-
Wow.
and it's- and
Wow, we
it's-
should do that along white lines too, right? Except, if you say that, it'd be fucking racist.
No,
Jesus.
no,
White people already say this, and they already
I
practice
don't
it.
label
White
that.
people already say this, and they already practice it.
If somebody is doing something that you don't agree with results that you don't agree with, replicating it, I've never saw it as the best solution. But hey, that's me.
Okay, so first of all, you do realize that we do have
I'm not
dominant.
saying that you need to do that, but you already made your choice. I'm explaining why I was disappointed in you.
Okay, yeah, that's cute. So you do realize that melanin is a dominant gene, right? So as long as I'm reproducing with anybody, the kids will be black in the eyes of like the state, right?
One time I was walking in Barcelona and this African stopped my wife, and she asked my wife, "Hey, where's the father from?" And she says, "Oh, we're from here." And she was like, "No. I know you guys live here. His father is black, right?" And my wife saw the smiles. And how did you know that? I said, "Yeah, I can see it. I can see the futures, the way he reacts, for some reason he noticed it, and he explained himself. Trust me, people can see that you have black roots without looking black. Trust me." And it's quite clear the hair, it has curly hair. So most people in Spain are like, nah. We don't have that hair over here. You've been having funky with a black man.
So I could literally reproduce with fucking powder itself, but the kid will still be quite melanated, and that kid will still be seen in the eyes of society as being black. And as long as I am their parent, and I do have lived in what is my home country, thus I do speak the language of my home country, I would still be able to preserve our culture. There's nothing just because I go ahead and reproduce with a man from Sweden that would suddenly have you say, "Oh shit. Oh, I forgot where I'm from."
But you already half black and half Asian, and if
I
your
didn't say
child,
I didn't give you my percentages. I just said I'm black and Asian Jewish. I didn't give you
okay,
percentages.
fine,
It can be
you're black,
50-50.
fine, you're black, you're Asian. So if your child was to have a child or reproduce with someone else, which was, let's say, European, do you agree that genetics would be diminished due to that?
But even though, you're still yourself. You still have a choice to represent yourself in a different way. It's like, why does the representation has only something related to your skin? It's the first assumption. That's why many people say it's not the first reaction that makes you racist, because you're just reacting on what you're used to. The next one is what makes you racist, because you maybe don't want to change that option. And that's the problem that people have. I consider myself like a first generation racist. I might think something. That doesn't mean I react upon it in a negative way. I'm not a second generation racist, if you know what I mean. You have to be careful. We all have our stories. If I get robbed by a lot of black people, trust me, the next time I see one in a dark alley, I'm gonna be like, damn.
So first of all, you do realize that like for all of this is arbitrary as shit. And the line at which someone's no longer considered black and considered black is all just in the eyes of the beholder, because there are people that go ahead and identify as black, and even though we can't see based off of skin that they're black, as well, they could have two half black parents, and they could end up, just because of the way that genes work, there could be like, the 1 in, I don't know, 7% chance that they go ahead and they end up being lighter, but at the end of the day, both of their parents are black, and thus they would still continue on with, black culture, black culture, etc. And I just...
And the weirdest thing, my grandma is my color. My grandpa is like a white Negro, like the kind of light skin, but they have like red hair. My aunties, I have some almost super white. I have a super dark skinned uncle. And it's like, I told my wife, unless my baby is Chinese or blonde, I would never know if she cheated on me, because anything can happen. So even if he wants to talk about percentages, dude, the percentages is just like a Russian roulette. Ding, ding, ding. The baby's gonna look black with fine, smooth hair. So they're gonna think he's Indian. Anything can happen. So I just find it so weird that people judge on this situation as if how you represent yourself in the future doesn't make any sense. A guy might be white, but his hair might be a little nappy. He combs it in a different way, and they're gonna be like, he seems to have some black genes. He can decide how he wants to represent himself. People should be proud of anything they are, but the fact you want to put the value only on that, as if that is the value that will make the race look better, I think your actions should reflect more. Jokingly, the only future I like when people see my son, they're like, oh, he's white, but he has a big dick. It's not that I disagree with sometimes certain white parents were too nice to their kids, but it did make the option more attractive as a kid that, hey, if I wanted to date anybody, I want somebody chill. Somebody that works like a team. Not that doesn't happen in black families, but I've seen some combative shit at that moment that I haven't seen anywhere. Back in the day, people scream at their kids like a boss. And we laughed about it. But the thing is, mostly black people did it on the street or beat their kids in the supermarket when they didn't obey or something like that. Most white people didn't do that. And that made me kind of racist, because it made me realize, you know what? Black people are so freaking aggressive. That was my mentality as a kid. When you experience pain, like I experienced when I was little, you start focus on everybody, because the damage that you receive in your family, you would never want to experience it again. So you want to escape that. Even if I wanted that, I still lived in a black community and I was treated like shit sometimes. And it was like, damn, I don't like to be this beta male in everybody's eye, in men and women. Go to a freaking different country and suddenly I'm a hero. I'm like, what the heck just happened?
Yeah, so I just don't understand, like, what's the obsession with just going ahead and keeping, the percentages just high enough. Because at the end of the day, like the kid, if they are completely immersed in black culture and they think that, hey, I myself want to make sure I understand the struggles of, like, I'm married to someone that understands the struggles of my heritage, they could go ahead and decide to sleep with someone
who is not of your race and culture understand.
It's called
Really
charity.
understand.
It's called charity. It's called sharing. Shared experience. Charity also means love, right?
That experience that is exclusive to that specific group. That story and that history is exclusive to them. How can you understand that?
It's like you're saying other races are so dumb. Unless they never experience specific things, jokes like us, they're not intelligent enough to notice that. As if black people are the only people being treated in a bad way. It happens to everybody. Maybe different language, maybe different situation, but the way he groups things is just so weird.
I could have a kid with whatever the fuck I want,
Yes.
whoever I want, and then they would end up having me as the mother, and thus they would still end up having a black mother, because at the end of the day, like, I'm not just Asian and I'm not just Jewish, but I'm also black. So I would also make sure I go ahead and, like, teach them about what being black is, teach them about what being Asian is, teach them about what, like, being Jewish is, etc. And then if they want and they really feel like they're that close to, that culture, it's something that they really want to go ahead and make sure that they're marrying someone that understands it entirely, they too would have the option to either spread their legs or pull down their pants and inseminate or get fertilized by someone that is also black. And thus, it would recharge up the fucking health bar. Oh, we're black again.
All the Africans that come here and they're chilling here, all these big gangster muscle people, or some of them super skinny, they're all finding the same type of Spanish woman. Not the high class, not the lower class, like a middle class, very humble woman that can still find a job, educate each other, and they become like a good team. And they usually stick together because they respect each other on the same level, not because of the race. But most people won't understand that because they cannot apply in their shoes. And those people that are in that position, you know why they are so strong? Because they don't date because of the race. And when they make a baby and they see the baby totally different or the same color or whatever, they're like, damn, he might not look like me or the hair or whatever, but he has the same way of thinking. He likes the same food. He loves the same thing. He finds the same thing funny. And then you're like, damn, it's like I repackage myself. It's a small version of myself, but it's still me. They don't even see the race anymore. We don't want to introduce race in our babies because we know it will mess up the baby that we're seeing. We want our babies to judge people by their action, not the rest. Do I make sense or am I that dumb?
Yeah, hold on. You being black doesn't tell you who you are and where you come from.
I agree.
That's not. That has nothing to do with lineage. I am a black American, a descendant of American chattel slavery, descendant of freedmen. That experience is different than the experience that your background and ethnicity comes from. That is
What's really cool about the place that I come from? The place that I come from doesn't just have black people on it. So there's a lot of other people that understand my experience, and we're also enslaved that weren't necessarily black. So I don't I can have someone that has that same experience if it's something that's so fucking important to me without them being black.
Wait, you're saying there were whites were enslaved in Jamaica as well?
This is so freaking stupid. You're asking her to date within the race. But then you're saying, well, just because you're telling your experience, it's not the same experience. So you want her to date somebody from America to understand your pain. So you're telling her she has to date the black person from America. I don't get it anymore. Stop making it harder to be able to apply a solution. Yeah, but the solution is complicated. No, I don't think the solution is complicated. Maybe all the other black people won't even understand where you're coming from anyway. Then you have a black split community. People.
Black people enslaved in Jamaica, but there were also Indian people and Chinese people enslaved in Jamaica. That's why if you go to Jamaica, you notice that there's a lot of Chinese Jamaicans, a lot of black Jamaicans, and a lot of Indian Jamaicans as a result of slavery, and thus why Jamaican food is so mixed, and that's why Indian culture is so ingrained into Jamaican cultures because they've been there so long. They've been there basically as long as we have.
No, that's why most people on Caribbean Island, they don't really enjoy talking about race because you have so many people that have been locked up in the same conditions. Just because you're on the island and they reproduce more, or you might see more black people, there is something different about it. So the fact that everybody reacts, what do you mean other black people? Yes! I also found out a bunch of Irish people were locked on my island. Everybody had a bad experience. So there comes a point you have to accept that certain culture experience the same thing as us, but they're not in the same situation as us for now. That's why I decided to change my method. But you get my point. But hey, let me know what you guys think. I think mixing shouldn't be a problem. If you just like a baby with a specific future, hey, maybe find a woman with that specific future. But then again, if she's a big mix, you never know what you might get. It might look like her, but it might change, or vice versa. I don't know. I thought I was super black, but a little with a mix with a white or something like that. I didn't know I had Irish blood. I didn't know I had a very weird white last name from a person from a white country that I didn't thought was gonna ever be on the island. That didn't make any sense. I don't know. And trust me, it's not an Irish last name. It's a Italian last name. So it's really confusing. Curacao, the island, is a big mix. And how we handle race is totally different. But hey, let me know what you guys think. I thought it was quite interesting. Maybe I will try to go here. Go fight my battle. Rawr. And hey, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, share, and comment. Let me know your opinion.
Don't get me wrong, ma cosa kita bong. Butta fire na mi blonde, kush hash, purple skunk, criollo, colombici, jam, turloqueta, verdeta, welcome.